going on, everybody? It's Andre Dawkins with another episode of Dawkins on Duke on the Field of 68 Network. This week, we got my brother, Quinn Cook, talk about his journey from the DMV all the way out to LA, being a two-time champion and everything in between. If you like what you're hearing, please feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and reach out to me on Twitter, Dre_Dawkins. Let me know who you want to hear from next. Enjoy. All right, so this week we got a very, very special guest, Mr. Quinn Cook, national champion and two-time NBA champion. So how I like to start this one off is you got to give me your welcome to Duke moment, man.
Welcome to Duke moment. I would say, I know you remember this. We lost to Ohio State.
Yeah.
My freshman year, your junior year, and we got smoked.
Yeah.
ACC Big Ten, challenge, and I just remember that next practice. It was probably my worst practice, in my basketball career. We watched the entire game.
Yeah.
That was my first loss in college. So, after a loss, how, tough those film sessions are.
Mm-hmm.
We watched the entire game, and that practice was just tough. And that whole week until our next game, was tough. So I just think after that first practice, after Ohio State, I was like, all right, this isn't high school. This isn't AAU. This is a different level.
Yeah, because we had a nice little run up until that point. We won some big games. We just came off winning Maui.
Yeah.
Ty hit that wild shot against Kansas.
Yeah.
So, you had a nice little start to the career, and then that reality set in real quick.
For sure.
All right, so, high school, you played at two, legendary basketball high schools up in the D.C. area, DeMatha and Oak Hill.
Yeah.
What was that like?
For me, it was a dream come true. Playing in our area, how big, high school basketball is. So growing up, you always saw Oak Hill on TV, and you always heard about, all the NBA guys that Oak Hill produced. But being in our area, DeMatha was, the school to go to. Just growing up, I went to middle school right down the street. So it was inevitable that, everybody that goes to, this school goes to DeMatha. So, I always wanted to go there. I always wanted to be good enough to be recruited, to go there. And, once Coach Jones started to recruit me, it was pretty much a done deal. I was, just so obsessed with being a DeMatha player. And, when I got there from day one, it was like I was living my dream.
Yeah. Yeah, DeMatha's one of those schools, man. Obviously you and I both from the DMV area. We knew about it for sure.
Yep.
But I feel like people know, all around the country about DeMatha, man, because, they just churn out high-level D1 dudes, and it's crazy. Even on the football side as well.
Yeah.
And, you played with a bunch of NBA guys all in high school. Which is crazy. You played with Vic, who's an all-star. Did you play with Jeremy?
I played with both. I played with Jaren and Jeremy.
Oh, man. So, you had – 3 NBA teammates right there. So how do you think that helped you, prepare for Duke? Kind of a similar situation.
Yeah, I know. I remember, obviously, I always wanted to go to DeMatha, but, when it was coming down to make a decision, I remember my dad and my mom, we treated, my high school, recruiting process as if, I was going to college.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was the first time for my parents going through that. So they were doing all the research and stuff. And I remember just breaking all the schools I could potentially go to. O'Connell, Kendall Marshall was there. So, how much would I have the ball? St. John's, Chris Wright was leaving. I think that was where everybody wanted me to go. But I'll never forget, man, my dad, I was just, just give me your last opinion on why DeMatha. I'll never forget it. And he was just like, I think, what you'll gain in those practices, what you'll gain from playing against the top guys in the city every single day is more than maybe getting the ball or maybe, just making varsity, somewhere else. I think if you go to DeMatha and play against that kind of competition every single day, if it's in practice, if it's, workouts, playing pickup, playing one-on-one, I think, you would, just gain more from that, just on a getting better basis. And I took that and I ran with it.
Yeah, for sure. And then, speaking of competition, then you played 2 times, right, on the Team USA?
Yep.
Yeah. Which obviously super high level. What was that like, as a 16, 17-year-old getting to wear USA across the chest? I'm sure that had to be like super dope.
Yeah, that meant everything to me. Obviously we were the first team. We were the youngest team ever assembled. We were the first U16 team ever assembled. Myself, Jay McAdoo, Brad Beal, Andre Drummond. We were the first team assembled. So it meant a lot. Obviously, growing up, the Redeem team had just, played in '08. So, USA was just buzzing. And just to have that jersey on the beat, with the same staff who was with LeBron and Kobe and all those people, on an everyday basis when they were in the Olympics, it meant a lot to us. So it meant a lot for me. I got a lot of confidence from that because, I obviously everybody was the man on the AAU team, was becoming the man on their high school team. But you had to learn how to play with other great players from other states. That was my first time really playing with other great players from other places. And I think that's when I fell in love with just being a leader. Yeah. Obviously, I don't think I was the most talented player. I wasn't the best player, but I thought I was the best leader. So to be named the captain on that team meant a lot. And I kind of just try to carry that leadership skills and everything I learned from that, to my high school team, the AAU team, and stuff like that. And it definitely propelled me for college because, that's what Coach K is all about.
Absolutely. So anybody who knows you, knows your personality, super bubbly. I've never gone anywhere with you where you don't know somebody there somehow, except maybe like China. I think I don't know if you knew anybody over there. But
we ain't know nobody over there.
Yeah, we ain't know nobody there. But anywhere in the States, you go with Quinn gonna know somebody in that spot. Yeah. How do you think that, your personality being, that way, being able to relate to people translates to you, being a point guard?
Yeah. I just think that was my personality. Growing up, that's how my dad was. My dad, I had so many uncles growing up. My mom's the same way. He's just very welcoming and just very, loving. So that's how I was brought up. And I just think it was easier for me to become a leader with that kind of personality because I had a relationship with each and every one of my teammates, starting when I was young. I could know how to talk to, this kind of player. I know how to talk to this kind of player. I know how to talk to coach and stuff like that, kind of relay a message. I think that just came from me, watching point guards, just watching guys who I grew up idolizing, communicating stuff. I would watch interviews. Like I remember when YouTube just hit, I literally would just sit on YouTube, watch highlights, and I would watch interviews and stuff like that. So I just think my personality, plays in my favor just to, I can just communicate with everybody on my team, and I had this relationship with everybody on my team.
Yeah, and I can attest to that for sure.
Yeah.
So, you get through high school, you go to Oak Hill, then you got to make a decision about college. Aside from getting a chance to play with Andre Dawkins, why Duke?
Hey, you best believe that you are a reason that everybody was coming to Duke. The best
all the point guards, at least, yeah, for sure.
The best shooter in the nation. But nah, man, just I was there a lot, even before I got there with Nolan. So I felt like, you remember, like I used to come up there all the time, even before my official visit.
Yeah, you were damn near part of the team before you were part of the team.
Before I got there, I remember when my official, you and Seth, y'all like, oh, this is your official visit? Like, you were here 2 weeks ago. Like,
I know. I thought you had it already.
I thought you had it. So, nah, man, just I think being under those lights, having that kind of target on your back every game. You remember, we could lose. Didn't matter. That's anything can happen in the world, bro. Like if we lose, the first thing on the news, first thing on SportsCenter is going to be us losing.
Yep.
And we embraced that. We loved that. And I grew up watching that. And I wanted to be a part of it. I just loved just that. I used to watch y'all play pickup. And I used to always, man, I hope I'm good enough in 2 years to be able to compete. And when y'all won the national championship in 2010, it was just like, wow, like I can really win a championship here too. Like it was a no-brainer for me. And Kyrie was leaving, and I had, you were there. I had a relationship with you back from Team Maryland, and
way back.
Nola was leaving, and
Yeah.
Josh and Tyler was there. It was just a perfect situation for me.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's kind of crazy, man, because it was like a group of like 5 or 6 of us that had just known each other forever.
Yeah.
And we were all kind of in that little, 5-6 year window.
Yeah.
Ended up all at the same school, man. It's kind of
Right.
wild.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you're definitely right about that target on the back, man, because you watch some teams, and they don't got no fans there. It's just, when they're playing other teams, and then we come in, it's packed out.
Come on.
And I'm like, this all y'all's first game here this season.
Guys are playing out their mind.
Yeah, guys going crazy. Guys trying to make some money off of us, man. But
For
I mean,
sure.
it's better than the opposite. It's better than people not caring.
Right.
As long as people care, it's all good.
Right.
So, you get to do. I mean, what was it like? Adjusting, to college basketball. Obviously, it's faster, it's more physical.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if y'all remember, but I got to do. I was hurt. I played my whole senior year on a bad knee.
Yeah,
so,
and you couldn't play in that China trip.
I didn't do China, Dubai, and I missed the whole first part of practicing.
Yep.
And I was a step late, a step slow, but I just remember how out of shape I was. You think you're in shape. You can play pickup, you can play AU, you can play high school, you can do all that stuff. But I just knew how out of shape I was. When I got to Duke, and when I start actually, practicing and just seeing how much out of shape I was, man. And I remember I'll never forget my first 12 in a run with you guys when I got cleared. I was in the back, and I couldn't, my shirt, I kept grabbing my shirt, and Coach Will kept screaming at me, "Let your shirt go." I was just like, this is the only thing that's holding me up right now. And it was just a different world. It was a different world. But, man, I adjusted fast because we used to get after it. Our practices was games. We used to get after guys trying to, compete for minutes, and guys trying to make each other better. Guys just really competing. I just remember how competitive that team was. Especially my freshman year, we were extremely competitive. And I don't know, it was just something that I still remember to this day.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an adjustment. I mean, not an adjustment, but I just think that's the thing you got to go through as a freshman. You're just gonna be tired. You're just gonna be tired. I went through it. I remember you going through it. And I mean, you had it worse because we had that whole summer to practice, and you didn't get to do any of that stuff. So so you miss all of that, and then it's like you get thrown into the deep end, and I remember that. And I mean, it's just a struggle we all go through. And then, the next year when you come in for your sophomore year, you run a little more in the summertime, make sure you're ready to go.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So obviously, you got you won your national championship, but what do you think was your favorite non-championship moment at Duke?
My favorite non-championship moment would be, well, I have two. I think my sophomore year when we won in Bahamas. We had 3 games in a row. We beat Minnesota, VCU, and Louisville.
Yeah, that was a stacked field.
That was a big tournament, but especially for me, just because I didn't have the freshman year that I wanted, and I remember going into my sophomore year, Coach gave me the ball right away, and I could just remember, we watch college game day, we watch the games that's on, and Duke is the first thing everybody talks about, and I can just remember going into that season, everybody was just questioning that point guard spot, that point guard position, and man, I got MVP of the tournament, and the first thing that Coach K told me was, well, we got our point guard, you know, and that just meant a lot to me. That meant a lot to me, just because you saw how much I struggled my freshman year, you know, just, you know, staying positive and, you know, just staying, you know, consumed with winning. So that was big for me. But I tell people all the time, man, my freshman year, junior year, when we beat Carolina at Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an
That's up
amazing
there.
moment.
That was
an amazing moment.
That game was sick because we had no business winning that game, man.
We had no business winning.
I mean, I'm telling you, we had, and I don't go into games. I never went into a game at Duke thinking we're gonna lose, but there are games where you're playing and you're like, we can't win. I don't see how we can win. And that was one of those games where we're playing, and then like tonight, they're better than we are.
For sure.
And I don't know.
And like how we came back, like
that's one of the sickest comebacks I've ever seen. I've ever been a part of. That was sick.
Yeah.
And I mean, a couple of things I'll always remember is one of the cool things was we had a timeout before the shot, but it was like a possession before that. The timeout was. And so they were getting ready to shoot a free throw, and coach drew two different plays up. He drew a play up for being down 2. He drew a play up for being down 3. And so I thought that was a really cool thing. One, to just have to be thinking like, all right, let's get 2 plays ready to go in case we're down 2 or 3. And then, you know, for us to have the wherewithal to go out and say, okay, this is a situation. We need to run this play. And then, I mean, Austin to just big balls it and just let's go home. I mean, good grief. I've never heard that stadium that quiet in my life. It was almost eerie.
It's probably never been like that. But like, if you remember, like everything, I mean, we fought. Like, I mean, we were competing. I mean,
it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't a wash, but they were better.
Ryan shoots the 3 and like Zeller like tips the ball in.
It was Cameron Magic just down the street.
just down the street, bro. And I just remember how happy we all were, like on the bus, like when we got back to campus, because we deserved that win. Like we deserved it. We fought, and man, it was a great feeling. Like that was 2012. And I still like, I'm getting goosebumps. Like, that was 8 years ago, bro, and I still like can remember everything.
Legendary. And it's like, to me, like I remember everything up until the shot went in, and then it's just blank because I didn't know what to do. So and then, you know, like obviously it was a big dog pile. I mean, that was that's legendary, man.
That was amazing.
So like, you know, from your junior year going into your senior year, obviously you had a hell of a senior year, All-American, national champs. Skip the ACC tournament and I mean, what was there any adjustments you made or changes you made going into that year?
To be completely honest with you, bro, like going into my senior year, like I really realized like I don't have anything to show for in my 3 years here. I didn't get, like you said, like obviously we don't win a national championship. I didn't get an ACC championship, regular season or a tournament. So that really hit me. Like as soon as we lost to Mercer that night. Well, that day, it was
early. It was early. You had to stew on that all day,
man. And I just felt so bad for y'all, just how we ended. But I started thinking, like, man, like I'm a senior now, like, and I don't have anything to show for. So I know Coach talks about it all the time. You know, he had a meeting, like he just randomly called me in that summer, for a meeting. Not that summer, that spring. Right after the season. And basically because, you know, Tyus is coming in and, you know, Duke's fans was off me. Like, you know, I lost in the first round twice. Like, you know, we can't wait for Tyus to get here. So, you know, like we on Twitter, like, I mean, I know I see it. Like, wouldn't never respond to it, but I see stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
You know, for a coach to call me in the office, like, and I didn't know he had told my mom to come. My mom was already in the office and she was already like damn near in tears.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like what's about to happen? Like, they just take my scholarship? Like, what's going on? Like, you know, I'm thinking the worst.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, the first thing he said, he was like, you know, you're still my point guard. Like, you know, you're my leader, and I'm gonna need you, you know, to lead, you know, from here on out, like you've never led before. You've led in spurts, you know. But another thing about, you know, Quinn Cook at that moment, I'll never forget it. He said, you lead when things are going right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when things aren't going right, you know, you don't lead as well. And that hurt me. Like, and that hurt me. But, you know, that was the truth. So I just told myself from here on out, you know, no regrets. I'm going to be the best leader possible. I don't care if I don't score. I don't care. None of that stuff. And it sounds cliche, but that's really how I just flipped my mindset. And, man, it just worked out. Like, I just created some great habits. I got in the best shape ever.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we're always talented. So, you know, we don't have to worry about that. We prepare. So we always got a chance there. And it's just about having that camaraderie, that chemistry. And, you know, we got it done.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely see that because obviously, you know, you bring in that big class of freshmen, everything's not going to go right at the beginning, and everything's not going to be smooth. So, yeah, you definitely needed, you know, a Quinn Cook to be there to kind of steer the ship and say, okay, let's keep, because you could see it as the year went on, like just keep going, and, you know, we'll figure it out because freshmen aren't freshmen in March anymore, you know, and that's where you got to get to. You got to make those jumps by the time you get to March to really make a run at it. I mean, what was that like, you know, for you bringing in, you know, being the senior? Obviously, you came in with a super talented class, and then now being a senior and welcoming in, you know, super talented freshmen, you know, 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember how much love that you guys gave us, you know, when we came in. It was just something that, you know, I felt it was our duty, and we started to do that, you know. For me, like my junior year, you know, your last year with us, like I think, you know, that team deserved better. But I remember how all close we were, and you, Tyler and Josh and Todd, just y'all laid a foundation for me. Like, this is how you lead. This is how you give back. This is how much everything that, you know, what you had been through your time at Duke, you know, Josh, you know, Tyler, just everything that y'all three, you know, been through. Y'all gave everything up that season, and it didn't end the way we wanted, obviously, but y'all had your head high after that game. And I remember, like, I used to call Tyler, bro, how did you do this? Like, I'm struggling. Like, it's my first time, and I felt like I was the only senior that year. So I'm like, man, it was 3 of y'all. Like, what should I say right here? And blah, 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 man. And I just think that foundation that I got from you guys kind of propelled me, you know, to try to be as best of a leader as I can. So for me and Emil, it was easy because we would just go back to stuff that y'all would do. And obviously, you know, that year Jabari and Rodney got most of the, you know, the media attention and stuff, but
as they should have.
Obviously the best players. But I just remember that team just we was just so tight, bro.
Yeah,
like, we were so
absolutely.
Tight. And you know, you guys just really laid that foundation for me.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that team was better than the end result.
For sure.
So yeah, we ain't gonna talk about Mercer no more.
That's like
let's have some more fun. No, you're all good, man. So like, you know, Tyus coming in, obviously, you know, super highly rated point guard. And you know, you played a lot of 2 that year. You know, what was that like? Was it an adjustment, or were you like, man, cool, I get to shoot it a little more this year?
Yeah, well, coach wanted me to be more of a scorer
Mm-hmm.
that year, which was different because I hadn't been a scorer since high school. So just kind of not having the ball as much was different. But when Tyus would come out, like Tyus would come out early, and then I was back to being the one. So
Right.
I mean, it worked out, and we had a good rapport with each other. We were very supportive of each other, and I think really that's what set the tone that season of how me and him, meshed. And obviously had the best player in the country in Ja, so and the most unique player in Justice. So obviously that played in our favor. But it was fun, man. It was fun. It was fun just kind of, I've never played like with a point guard like that. So just to learn stuff from him, even though he was younger. And,
Mm-hmm.
I would give him the game and teach him, coach probably wants this right here. And I always would go back to how Nolan embraced Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Nolan just won a championship, with y'all, and, it's supposed to be, his ball coming in, and obviously Kyrie got the rock from day one. And I just remember Nolan, how big of a fan he was of Kai, and just embracing him, and just showing we can do this together. And I will always go back to that. So I got the blueprint, like I always got the blueprint for my big bros. So just me and Tyus, man, it was easy. It was the best backcourt easily, and we ran through everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, that is one of the that's a good point you brought up, because yeah, you definitely got to see that with Nolan and Kyrie. Obviously, Nolan, like you said, coming off a national championship, going into his senior year, was obviously a hell of a player already, and obviously they competed like crazy in practice. It wouldn't have been fair to put them on the same team.
Nah, for sure.
So they were always opposite each other and competing, but they both had love for each other, and they both embraced each other and made them both good. Obviously, Kyrie only got 11 games in, but it was a hell of an 11 games.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so
can I just say something real quick on that?
Go ahead.
I think that I don't know. I think that team's
40-0.
That okay. All right. Okay. Say no more.
That team's 40-0. 38-2. Like, we was messing around a couple times, but I think we got a chance at running it.
For sure.
Because we weren't even like, I mean, obviously we were good, but we weren't like good yet.
Yeah.
And we were still, we were killing people. And Kai he didn't belong in college. And that's like, obviously I played with a lot of guys. A lot of guys are really, really good.
Yeah.
He's the only guy I would say, like, I was like, he doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
There's just no reason for him to be here.
Yeah.
Because he's just different. I mean, that Michigan State game.
Oh my gosh. I
was like, oh my goodness. And it was stuff he did in practice, man. Like, it was crazy. I remember I'll get off track here a little bit, but we were getting ready to play in the tournament, and getting ready to go into the first round of the NCAA tournament. And, Kyrie was coming off injury, so he was playing with the scout squad with us. So it was me, Ty, Josh, I don't remember, whoever else was coming off the bench. And, so we're going over other Hampton's plays. We're about to play Hampton. We're going over Hampton's plays. And Kyrie does something just silly, splits, Euro, lay, and coach is like, don't worry about that. Their guy can't do that. I was like, yeah, I hope not, because that's a problem. But yeah, Kai is different, man. So you get to the end of your senior year, you get to Indianapolis, win the national championship. Obviously super emotional for you. Yeah. I mean, talk about what that was like, to have Nolan there, who, if people don't know, that's as close to a brother as you can get without being blood for you. Yeah. You guys embrace, and y'all both crying, and then, you're crying with coach. Like, I mean, just run us through that. What was going through your head and all that?
Yeah. Nah, I mean, like I said, I hadn't won anything. So I became obsessed with winning that championship. I became obsessed with it, bro. Like I'd be in class and I would YouTube the last 5 minutes of the 2004 national championship, and and I would watch like how they close the game from a basketball standpoint, but more just like an emotional, like how everybody kept stay poised, or as soon as the clock hit zero, like what did this guy do? Like I literally would watch everyone. I became obsessed with it. And Coach Capel, he never won a national championship. He lost a national championship his freshman year. So he was obsessed with it. So like literally we would send each other clips. So I just became, I just would manifest it, every single day. Obviously I had a great season. We had a great season. But that was the year Kentucky was undefeated, and they had their swag, and everybody in the world was talking
Everybody
about them.
else was like an afterthought that year.
Yes. But us, like we really believed, like we knew we was the best team in the country that year. Like and nobody had to know outside our locker room, but we went to Wisconsin, who went to the Final Four the year before, and beat them. We beat all the good teams who were supposed to be tough games for them. We beat them pretty handily, so we had that confidence. Obviously March is a different season. We won like the last, I want to say 9 games of the regular season. Beat UVA was really, really good. They were undefeated at the time. We beat them. The AC was really tough, and I remember we got to Greensboro, man, and we beat NC State, and then we lost to Notre Dame. Yeah. But I remember when we lost, I want to say we had a meeting. We had a meeting, and just we hadn't been humbled in a while. We didn't think we were beatable. The last month and a half. So that was a good reminder, and I just remember how hard we worked in practice that next day, and that Monday when we found out who we were playing, and it was go time from there. And we literally took it a game at a time. As coach preaches, it's easy to get caught up in the hypothetical matchups. If this, team wins, we could potentially play that. Like, how it is. We literally was in there. We played Robert Morris.
Yep.
Okay. We played San Diego State. Like it was no hypotheticals with nobody on our team. And we just round. You know how it is. Just, 2 games. Yeah. Got to go back to campus, get ready. You leave maybe Wednesday night. New city, and it was a fun experience, man. And just try to win each weekend. And when we got to the Final Four, we had beat Michigan State pretty good earlier that season, so we felt good coming into that game. We beat those guys, pretty handily, and Kentucky ended up losing in the 4, and we beat Wisconsin, pretty handily that earlier, but obviously it's a new season. But we felt good, and we got it done, man. And just seeing everybody, like I said, man, just seeing like everybody celebrate those years before, like it literally was like a dream, bro. Like I knew what I was gonna do. I was gonna hug my mom, hug my sister. I was gonna find Coach, but Nolan surprised me that he was coming. Yeah. And then when I seen Nolan, I just broke down because I knew his father won in Indianapolis. He won in Indianapolis, and it was something that we always talked about. We lived together that year, so everything came full circle, man. And you know how it is when you win a national championship. It's the greatest, spring and summer, you can ever imagine.
Man, everything is love.
Everything
and you should have seen our postseason workouts after we won, man. We wasn't doing it. We shooting half court shots. Wojo laughing.
Wojo laughing.
Exactly. You already know. Stuff is great. Yeah. I think one of the coolest things, and it's kind of eerie almost about the tournament, is like that first weekend. It's obviously everybody's playing, so you're watching games all day.
Yeah.
And at your site, it's a bunch of teams there. So, when you go in to do your open practice, somebody's leaving, someone's coming in, someone's coming after you.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot going on. And then you play that first game, and then it's a little bit less noise, in between. Obviously, there's still teams there. And then, you win your second game, you go home, and then you come back the next weekend.
Yeah.
And it's a lot less noise because it's not,
Right.
it's
Right.
less teams around. It's
Right.
less games to watch. It's less stuff going on. And then that you win the Sweet 16 game, and then the day before the Elite 8 game is like super quiet because it's just you and the other team that's playing.
That's it.
It's just y'all two teams there. And then like, I don't know. It's just it's weird because you come from such like all this is going on, and then it's just y'all, and then it's amplified once you get to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Obviously, before the first game, it's a lot going on, a lot of media. Everybody wants to talk to everybody, but then that Sunday, it's just two teams left. It's you and the other team. That's all anybody's talking about. And I think that's just like one of the coolest things about making a run like that in the tournament is like we're still here. It's really like, it's just like, it's survival. It's like, no, we're still, we're still here. We're still here.
And the world's watching.
And everybody's watching.
The world is watching. The world is watching. And I always remember, I remember when we played Lehigh, bro, and in Greensboro, and I remember, like, this is my first college. This is my first tournament game ever, and I remember all the fans that weren't Duke fans rooting against us.
Yep.
And we faced some game pressure, and the next year, my sophomore year, once we got out that first game, I don't want to say it got a little easier, but like you said, like there's a lot of fans who won't be here because obviously their team isn't playing, but the attention and the support that we would get each time we would advance.
Yeah,
it was motivating.
Yeah,
it wasn't like pressure; it was motivating, and that was cool. That was cool for me, and like to have all of us had friends in the NBA and overseas. Those guys paying attention and those guys giving you love and shouting you out on Twitter and all that was great. And man, like I miss it. Like I miss it because it's something that we've dreamed all our lives of doing, and we did it at the highest level for the best team. Like it's unbelievable. We watched Duke win our whole lives, and we can go in Cameron for the rest of our lives and look like wow, like, and that's the coolest part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so win a national championship, you go to super high, and then go undrafted, obviously to a low. I know the feels. Then you got to go in the G League. I mean, talk to me a little bit about what life is like. For a D League now G League player.
Yeah.
I mean, we faced off a couple times.
Couple times, bro.
Few times.
Couple times with different teams too.
Yeah. Oh man, that's don't get me started on being on different teams.
With different teams. I think one year I played you like on a Tuesday. You was on one team, then I played you
I was on a different team. Yeah. G League crazy, dude. I got traded. I got traded from a team and back to a team in 30 days.
I see. So just all in that, just to give people a perspective on what type of grind and what type of mindset you got to have.
Absolutely.
And I think for us, bro, like, I mean, just me personally, I feel it's harder for guys like us, for me, you, Marshall Plumlee, Milt Jefferson, because we come from such a, top of the top.
Oh yeah, we chartering, we get good food. We got the best training. We got treatment whenever you want. I mean,
every game is ESPN, bro. Like every game is ESPN. You have a good game at Duke, your phone. You get back to your phone. You got
You got mention, Twitter popping crazy.
Everything, man.
You got to record the Sports Center that night.
You got to record the Sports Center. You went crazy. and like you get to the D League, like you on a bus, you gotta take the first flight in the morning out. You might get a middle seat. I know me, I was the smallest guy on the team, so I'm definitely sitting in the middle.
Yeah.
I was a rookie too, sitting in the middle. You get to you have back-to-backs. You might fly in on the day of a game, and then you playing in front of 100 people. You know, maybe. Facebook Live. You got 12 people watching, and then after the game, you could have 30. You know, your mom.
Nobody cares.
Your mom. You know what I'm saying? Just you got like a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Aren't paying attention as much. Yeah. So you know, it was definitely humbling for me, but you know, I used it to get better, bro. Like instead of like my first, you know, couple months, like I felt sorry for myself. Why me? You know, is my agent working? Is it's just so much that goes because you have so much downtime. At least at Duke, it's like, all right, well, if I'm not playing, I gotta do something. I go to class. I can. Yeah. You in a rural town, rural city. There's nothing to do but think. Yeah. So you just playing all these scenarios in your head, man. And I think I got to like January or maybe mid-January where I was just like, man, whatever. Like whatever happens, but let me work on myself. And you know, I used it just to get better. And you know, I got a couple opportunities, but I would use my time in the D League just to really focus on me and get better, man. And you know, I walked into a good opportunity in New Orleans. And, you know, I never look back.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about you, but anytime I had like 20 plus, I was calling my agent before I took a shower. Like, who's calling? Somebody call. They see that?
For sure. No question. We all was doing it.
Yeah, get me. Come on, get somebody. Somebody ain't like that. Come on now.
but another thing is like what people don't understand is like you really down there, like, you gotta look out for yourself.
Yeah, and for sure.
There's 12 people with that same mentality. It's like
you got 12 teammates and you got, you know, 4 or 5 coaches all trying to do the same thing.
All trying to get out.
Yep.
All trying to get out. So I just think, you know, really, like I say, the strong survive. Like, and I always applaud people for coming back and sticking it out because, you know, a lot of us can go overseas and, you know, make this kind of money, but I think we all have a dream of playing the NBA to do that. And I love how the league has gotten better from when we were in there. But you know, it was a very, you know, humbling experience for me. And I don't think, you know, I could have got drafted, you know, to a team and they draft and stash me and send me overseas, or, you know, I could walk into a bad situation and I could be out the league. But I think the fact that I went to the D League and I got to pick my situation, you know, it helped me, you know, for the better.
Yeah. Yeah. That definitely helps. I mean, like you said, sometimes being undrafted is a blessing in disguise, you know, being able to pick what training camp you're going to and things like that. Yeah. So then you get a couple 10 days, you get cut, get another one, you get cut. I mean, you know, what's that like? You know, I had a couple 10 days. So, you know, I know the feeling is like, oh yes, like I'm out of here. And then, you know, you get cut and you're like, oh, I gotta go back down here. Like, you know, how did you deal with that? The emotions of, you know, such a high and then, you know, coming down back to a low.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because you never want to go back.
No.
You don't want to go back. You don't want to go back. And it was tough. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, when I got cut from Dallas, like, and I played well in Dallas.
Yeah.
And, man, like, they cut me. And I don't know if embarrassed is the word I want to use, but I was embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my teammates, man, dang, Mike, why you wasn't shooting, you know, like you shoot down here? I'm like, bro, it's totally different. You know what I'm saying?
Way different, yeah.
And it's just like, man, like, you know, I've been waiting a year and some change for this opportunity. Like, when's the next one? And it's just, you know how the business goes. But it was tough. It was tough. But like I said, that mindset, it was just, whatever happens, happens, bro. Like, I'm going to be ready. Because I remember how I felt when I was in Cleveland my rookie year in training camp. Like, I had some regrets that whole time. Like my body language wasn't as good in the fourth because I missed some shots, or I wasn't picking up full court because I felt like I should be in the game before this guy. And like that whole year and a half, bro, like out the league, like without doing anything in the NBA, I had regrets. So once I got another opportunity, there was just no regrets. And I prepared, a couple 10 days, like you said, but to get the cut, is definitely frustrating. But like I said, some guys don't get the same opportunities that I got. So that's why I'm always thankful, bro, because I got 2 or 3 opportunities where, a guy on my team who was, just as talented, he only got 1. So I always keep that in perspective too and be thankful.
For sure. And then I think one of the coolest things that they've done, the G League is the 2-way deal. So, that rule comes in and, that's how you make your way onto Golden State and end up, sticking there for a few years. I mean, what was that 2-way deal like for you?
Yeah. Well, I remember when they first came out with it, and I was in New Orleans, and I was killing. Like I ended the season off well. I stayed down there. I didn't go home at all after the season, so we didn't make the playoffs. So I was down there the entire time, and I was getting better, working with the coaches every day. When the summer league, got killed in summer league. They shut me down. They like, go home. You might as well go home and then come back and start looking for your crib and blah blah blah. So I'm like, all right, cool. You feel me? Like next day they signed Rondo. I remember Coach Gentry called me. He's like, don't worry about it. Like you're good. Like I'm gonna fight for you. Blah blah blah. And because Coach Gentry looked out for me, man. He gave me a lot. He allowed me to be myself when I got there. He gave me so much confidence.
Yeah, he seems like a good dude.
Great dude. And they signed Darius Miller. I remember Dale Demps called me. They cut me. And I literally got on Atlanta, bro. Like, I went to Atlanta next, like, because Kyrie had announced that he wanted to be traded. So we all had to wait because everybody had to make a play at Kyrie. Like, I mean, even if you didn't have a chance, like, you had to, make a play at him. So everybody was just waiting. So I kind of got on Atlanta, like, just off my relationships, really from K Academy, to be honest. And, I get on a partial guarantee with Atlanta. And they were like really, really bad, man. I'm killing in pickups. Training camp, I played really well, but they were in a rebuilding mode. And I never played in preseason. I played 1 game, I played well, I never got in the game again, except for like last 2 minutes or something. Yeah. And my agent's like, man, like you're good. They love you. They're trying to build a winning culture and like, you good teammate, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay. Because I had, different trigger dates or non-guarantees. If I made it to the last day of preseason, my deal was guaranteed for 2 years.
Yeah,
like fully guaranteed. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. They like, man, you good. So me, I go find my career. I've been living in a hotel.
Yeah. Now I remember talking to you about that later on.
So
later on in that year, you found the house. You just put the TV up and everything.
I just put the TV up, bro, and they cut me. And I went from, just being cut, no disrespect to Atlanta, but they were the worst team in the league that year. Yeah. And literally the next day I got signed with Golden State, but it was a 2-way. And they told me, they were just like, we're going to treat, you as our third string point guard, and because Sean to sit out, Steph, no arrest and stuff. So, I was just blessed to get that opportunity, man. And that 2-way opened everything up for me.
Yeah, for sure. And then just a, whatever, NBA final champion, whatever, no problem.
Yeah.
What was that? I mean, what is that like? What is that? I mean, you played in the finals too. Like, it wasn't like, you're just hanging out. You got minutes in the finals. I mean, what was that like?
I think that was the highlight. That's been the highlight of my, basketball career for me. Obviously, growing up, I didn't know what a McDonald's All-American was until I got to like older, until high school. And okay, this is where the best players play. I didn't know, Duke was the premier, college to play at, or ACC the premier, league to play in, until I got older and really, okay, But, you know, as a kid, as a baby, NBA was everything for me. The NBA was everything. And, you know, growing up, you hear about Michael Jordan winning championships. You know, I grew up the biggest, I grew up the biggest Laker fan ever.
Yep.
So, you know, I grew up, you know, seeing the Lakers win 3. So I was just obsessed with just winning the NBA championship. And to actually, like, play and contribute and, you know, just be on a scouting report and prepare for, you know, an NBA Finals. It's not a national championship. It's not a, you know, it's a 7-game series is a totally different thing, which I was new to. It was my first time in the playoffs. So it was great to be a part of it, to be a factor and to contribute, man. And like you said, for me, like winning the national championship was great. It was unbelievable, but I couldn't really, you know, like let up because like I was a senior. Like I didn't know if I was gonna get drafted. I knew Tyus, Ja, and Justice was first round picks, so they could kind of celebrate. Like me, like I was
it's right to the grind. You got to get
right
after
to the grind. So that was the first time in my basketball career, bro, where I could just be like,
exhale,
like, wow, like I got a guaranteed deal next year. I just won a championship. I just contributed. Like, wow, this is amazing. So that's been a highlight of my basketball career so far.
Yeah. And then, you know, you're coming off another championship because he's a 2-time NBA champion. I mean, obviously super different situations, you know, being in the bubble. I mean, talk about the difference between, you know, Oracle finals to Orlando bubble finals.
Yeah. 2 different worlds.
Yeah.
2 different worlds. But I would say the bubble, you know, was extremely tough on everybody. No family, no fans, no routines, just no traveling. You just gym, room, food, room. Just, but for us, man, it was amazing. And you know, I remember when I was at Oak Hill, bro, and I used to always be like, bro, I can't wait to leave. 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 I can't wait to do. And then, you know, when those 2-3 days get to winding down at Oak Hill, I'm like, dang, I'm a miss. We always were kind of, you know, we can't wait till we leave. Can't wait till we leave. Man, we got to the finals. It was like, man, I'm a miss. You know, chopping it up every night, playing video games, watching verses, and it was a different dynamic for all of us. It was an AAU trip all over again.
Yeah.
And obviously, no fans played. It played a big part. I mean, it was literally dead. Like it just wasn't, because if you've experienced playoff basketball, just not just being a player, just being in the arena, it's just a different feel. Just being in that city, it's just a different feel. And it was just the same feel every game. We just would switch sides of the court, and we were deprived of that the fans just giving us that love. But you know, we had to lock in. There was no excuses. We all went through it, and we got it done. Yeah. And obviously, being a Laker fan, you know, was great. To win a championship with my childhood team, something I could never dream of. But just being with that group, man, and doing it for LA after this tough, you know, year, you know, it was all worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like, you know, just obviously from the outside looking in, seemed like you guys were one of the better teams at bringing your own energy, you know, to the gym, which obviously you need because ain't nobody else in there. Sure. So, I mean, was that like a conscious effort? Like, hey, you know, let's make sure, you know, our bench is super active, or is it just something that you end up doing just because you have to?
I think we were like that all season. We had personalities with guys coming off the bench. We were always engaged into the game, even during the season. You know, we had a guy like Duggs. You had a guy like Dwight. You know, we had DeMarcus earlier in the year. You know, when, you know, the reserves would get in, you know, the stars was giving us that same. So that kind of was our MO all season long, just our camaraderie during the games. But when we got to the bubble, like, when we got to our first scrimmage against Dallas, I think it kind of surprised us, literally, like, of how loud we usually are during the games.
Yeah.
Like, we're, like, really, really loud. I don't think it was a conscious effort. It was just genuine. It was just what we had been doing all season. And, you know, we had to give ourselves energy. We had to, you know, have little chants and little motivational stuff for us because, And there was a limit on, how loud our families and fans could be.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah. So
I
like
didn't know that.
they couldn't go crazy if somebody hit a shot. They couldn't, they let the kids like
Do
the
whatever.
kids was,
Yeah.
was was giving us like too. But our fans couldn't go as crazy. So, there's a lot of times the NBA had to tell us to calm down. We'd be jumping over
Yeah. Yeah,
the
y'all acting a fool, man.
we were blocking sponsors and stuff, man. It became fun,
Hey,
bro.
you
It was
can't,
fun.
you can act a fool, but you can't block the sponsors,
We
bro.
cannot block the sponsors.
That's we'll
For
let you do
real,
a lot,
bro.
but you can't mess with the money,
Bro,
man.
I'm talking about every time, bro. Like it's game 5 of the finals. We down. We up 1, down 1. They telling us to come on, dog. Come on. Nobody's looking at a sponsor right now. They gonna watch the play.
They watching the
They watching
court,
the
man. They're
play.
watching
Come
the
on,
court.
dog. Yeah. Nah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it seemed like you guys had a ton of fun. I mean, obviously winning helps, but
Yeah.
you guys seem like you were having a lot of fun. Obviously, you mentioned it earlier. Lakers being your favorite team growing up. What was it like? I mean, even going through the process of your agent saying, "Hey, they want to sign you." All the way to putting on a jersey for the first time, then getting a Larry, with the team you
Yeah.
grew up watching.
Yeah. Now it happened fast, man. It happened real fast. When Kevin decided he wasn't coming back, Golden State kind of shifted gears and they made some moves, and it happened fast, man. Like I just knew I was coming back to Golden State after the 2 years I had, and I was a restricted free agent, and on the third day of free agency, literally as I was signing my deal, bro, they snatched the deal just because they signed two other players and they couldn't take my contract.
Yeah.
So I became unrestricted like this, like in a matter of a minute. So, to go through that free agency process as like wanted, like usually like when you're out the league or your agent's the one who's calling.
Yeah.
I'm the one like, what do they think about me? Stuff like that. To actually feel wanted to have teams, try to pursue me. It was a good feeling. But the Lakers thing happened fast. They called right away when it hit that I was unrestricted. And I remember I talked to AD and I talked to Bron, and it was just a no-brainer for me. It was a no-brainer. And I was trying to not look at it from, it's my favorite team ever, I'm a fan. Yeah. But this from I think this makes sense. Bron, loves, guys who space the floor, guys who can shoot. I know they're changing the culture in LA. AD is one of my best friends in the world. Bron was my vet when I was in Cleveland. I mean, it just made sense. And we got it done right away. And to be honest, bro, like when I signed my deal with the Lakers, that was my draft day. Like that was the moment that I had been yearning my whole life. I got to call my mom and call my sister, and they cried, and I could just be like, wow, like that was my draft day, bro. It was the best feeling ever. When I put the jersey on, it was great. When we won the championship, it was great, but it was nothing like telling my mom and sister, I'm a Laker. Like that was the best feeling.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh, yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've got to play with, KD, Bron, Steph, Klay, AD, Boogie, down in New Orleans. When he was at the height of his powers. I'm not gonna ask who's better between KD and Bron. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, but what is that like? What do you take away, from them? Do you find yourself, mimicking some of their habits, things like that?
Yeah. I think that's the whole trick. That's the whole that's the cheat code that their teammates get, is you get to full access and see their regimen. You see how hard they work. You see how they are as people. I think for me, and I have great relationships with all of those guys, just to see how human they are.
Yeah,
that's the most intriguing thing to me. When you think of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph, all these guys, I mean, those guys are mega stars.
Mm-hmm.
And just to see they do the same things that we all do, it just puts things in perspective. Like, wow, out of all the stuff that they've done, they could act this way. Mm-hmm. After all the accolades that they've done on the court, they don't have to be the first in the gym. They don't have to, have relationships with, rookies. They don't have to, have relationships with guys who don't even play or stuff like that. But that was the real eye-opening thing for me. Is like, wow, like these guys is like great players, but they're even better dudes.
Yeah.
And for me, like, I knew I was a good shooter, or like I always known I was a good shooter. Me and you used to shoot all the time in college. But I really, got the most confidence in my life was when Steph and Klay like allowed me to shoot with them every day after practice.
Yeah.
Like, so I can tell my kids and my grandkids, like, two of the greatest shooters all time, like I shot with them guys every day. They didn't have to do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have to give, you know what I'm saying? But that's the type of guys those dudes are, man. And AD, Bron are the same way. So I learned a lot, man. I'm still learning. And like I said, like it's like the cheat code, man. I just get access to the greatest players ever, man. And it's fun. It's fun to be around.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, Steph and Klay, man, them dudes. I don't know if I would want to shoot with them dudes.
Who you taking? Best out of 10? Catch and shoot.
Catch and shoot, Klay.
Klay.
Yeah.
Klay.
Clay's just perfect.
Yeah, Klay.
Everything
Klay.
about his shot is perfect.
Klay's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I think one of the cool things about Klay is, aside from being, 6'7", everybody could be Klay.
Yeah.
He's not, and I mean this with all respect, he's not like amazing at things, right? Like he doesn't do amazing things. He does simple stuff, but he does it so well. Everything is just
better,
like, if you
better than anybody.
Yeah, you watch his 60-point game, anybody could do the stuff that he was doing.
Yeah.
But not at the level that he does it. He's not a Steph. Steph is gonna like boop 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 do this and pull up. Like, Steph, Clay's, he's gonna come off this pin down. He's gonna get his feet set. He's gonna shoot. He's gonna do a flare. If you go over the top, he's gonna flare. He's gonna backdoor you. Like, he's gonna do all just the norm. He's gonna shot fake one dribble. Like, all stuff that anybody could go pick up a ball and do, but just not. But he does all that stuff up here, and that's what makes Klay Klay.
For sure.
Yeah, I wish more kids would want to be like Klay, but I guess he's not flashy enough.
Yeah, I hope parents. Well, I hope parents, man, push. I mean, obviously the guys like LeBron is LeBron.
No, you can't be LeBron.
Yes, you being 6'9", 250, 60, jumping like that. I mean,
not gonna happen.
So I think coaches and parents need to simplify, man. Look, Klay's the best.
Be Klay.
Best with that. You can be a Hall of Famer, a 3-time champion, and just be simple, So
be simple. That's a fact. He's simple, and like I said, all due respect, but his simple is amazing. His simple is so high level, because I can't. No matter what I do, I'm not gonna be 6'8", 260. No matter what I do, I'm not gonna be 7 foot and have the handle of a point guard and be able to shoot 40+% from three. I'm not gonna be able to dribble like Steph. I'm not gonna be able to pull up from 40 feet like Steph. But I could come off a pin down. I could do a flare. I can know how to get my feet set on a curl. I can do all that.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
A lot. A lot.
Oh man, yeah. So you just finished the season. Feel like a couple of days ago, and then now you got the season coming up in like a month. Yeah. I mean, is this too soon? You tired? Or are you ready to go get back after?
I mean, for me, I have a different perspective, bro. Like I wasn't in the rotation at all in the playoffs, so I'm ready to go. Like, I took some time off, obviously, mentally and physically, but like I'm hungry, bro. I didn't play, like my role wasn't the same role in Golden State. I mean, obviously, I tell everybody, bro, I sat behind LeBron and Rajon Rondo. Like,
Yeah. That's
the
two
stuff
pretty
that
good
I've
point
learned
guards.
from, I cannot play ever and learn more than, I could, in another place. So the stuff that I learned and the stuff that I picked up this year, was unbelievable. But, still, competitors at the end of the day. And, I kind of want to, remind, myself, forget anybody or haters or whatever, remind myself, like, bro, like, you had a good career in the league, So, and I think last year was motivating for me, and to see, us win a championship, was more motivation, to get that feeling back. And I know my guys who've played, a lot, minutes, during the bubble and stuff. I know they dreading coming back because that was grueling. But I know for me, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I know Brian made his case to move it back a little bit, but that
he was
fell on
trying.
deaf ears.
He tried. I feel bad for my dog, man.
No, yeah, for sure.
He was in a facility today getting treatment, man. I'm like, dang, bro, you just averaged 35 like a month ago, bro, and you got to play in 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he'll. We should temper our expectations the first few weeks for Brian, man. Because
I mean, I don't know, but he's too competitive, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, not temper our expectations. I think, if he's the time he spends on the court, he's gonna be LeBron. But I'm not expecting 35 minutes, 35 MPGs on December 22nd.
Nah, for sure.
All right, so I saw y'all had. I mean, this is just kind of out of nowhere. I saw y'all had a little Madden tournament. How'd that end up?
It ended up great for me.
Okay.
I won it, man. I have the bragging rights. I won the money. I took the money back home, paid my rent,
Hey.
But it was fun, man. It was fun because Madden's my outlet, Madden's my outlet. And to get the team, on Madden, and we always playing, and literally that's all we did every night. Like me, Bron, Dudge, AD, like we would play Madden all night. After games, after practice, we just play Madden. Drink wine, talk, trash all night, man. And it's what got us through. Like I said, that camaraderie, it felt like we were kids again. Back home, like we have, our families, we have our routines. There we just had each other. And that's really how we got through it, bro. Just playing Madden, watching, verses, doing different, comedy, putting comedies on there and just, talking. And, that tournament, brought everybody together. Bron started posting it, and
yeah.
Bron got us Madden like a month early, like the new Madden. So it was dope. It was dope.
Yeah, that's what's up. So for your football team is the Washington football team.
Yeah, it's my squad.
I mean, yeah. So are you still holding it down with them, or I mean, you taking a hiatus, or you riding it out?
When we won the Super Bowl in about 4 years, I will remember those rough days, man.
Four might be, I don't know about 4.
We got like a little 4 to 6 window, 4 to 7 window. We got a lot of young talent, man.
Yeah, y'all got to figure out that quarterback situation though.
We're gonna figure it out. I just don't like how they did Dwayne, man.
That's interesting. That's interesting. They don't like him very much.
They don't like him. The city that is. We like Dwayne. We like Dwayne a lot.
Yeah.
So, and I think last year they put him behind the 8 ball already. He didn't get any snaps. He was going to practice squad the entire season. Just threw him in the fire. And this year, new coach. He only got obviously a different season, no preseason, nothing. Thrown into the fire again, and short leash. They brought Kyle Allen, to Washington
for a reason. Yeah.
So I mean. I know he's gonna bounce back, but it's been a rough little year for us so far. But we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't say a whole lot as a Texan fan. So.
Y'all in the same boat as us.
Yeah, we the same. I mean, we got our quarterback figured out. But
y'all had y'all quarterback figured out, but y'all traded.
Traded the best receiver in the league. Shout out to D-Hop. I honestly, my fandom almost went with that trade over to the Cardinals, but I guess
you loyal.
I gotta stick it out.
I respect it. But if you would have left, I would have respected it too. But
yeah.
I got it.
It was tough, but I'm gonna try and stick it out.
Yeah.
And see my boy Deshaun through. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, that's all I got. Again, appreciate you for coming on. Plug the
Appreciate
social
you, bro.
medias. Where can they find you on the Twitters, the Instagrams, and all that?
Man, Q Cook 323. I'm on Twitter, same name, Instagram, Q Cook 323. I started streaming Madden, so I just
Okay.
really got on Twitch. So
On Twitch.
I'm
Okay.
Q Cook 323 on Twitch as well. And that's it, man. I'm just chilling, bro. Ain't nothing changed, Trey.
I hear you, bro. Oh man, it was good to see you, my
Always,
brother.
man.
Good luck this year. Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Go win another one. So then we can bring you back, and you'll be a three-time NBA champ.
Three-time champ, man. Big bro, appreciate you, man. This is dope what you're doing. Proud of you, happy for you, love you, man, and thankful for you, bro. Appreciate you. Everything you've done for me, dog.
Love you, my brother.